Right, greetings. Send you all some warm, positive vibrations. So, just a quick tip, something to put in your cap as we move towards cultivating critical thinking and all the information that is continuously coming forward about cults. And as we see just how prevalent cults and occult mentality are um, on the world scene and definitely within the Afro community. So this is really simple, but there's so many simple things that are overlooked. So here's the tip of the day. Cults, manipulators, predators, they know that you are green. They are very well aware of what you are not aware of. They're aware that you're not hip to the game, to pimp game. It is very easy for somebody. It's actually very practical, but it's just you may not be thinking. Likely, you're not thinking like a predator or a pimp. So there are many things that may not come up and likely not come up on your radar. So if you're of a certain age bracket and you don't have a certain amount of life experience, um, if they can easily assess that you are in the midst of a life crisis, for example, with young men, they can tell like by your age there's certain things that maybe perhaps you're going through. That may be a time when many men, young men, are on the outs with their fathers, or may not have a good relationship with their fathers, or looking for a father figure. These are things that can be easily manipulated. They can tell if you don't have a male presence or if you haven't been schooled to certain things, right? They can just tell. They can tell if you're new to an area, right? If you're new, let's say, in coming to the tropics, they know that you are green, and it's unfortunate. Well, or maybe perhaps it is that the people that have survived and made their way out of cults, they're so often, and it makes sense, so preoccupied with stabilizing themselves and getting their lives back on track that they may just disappear from the scene and not even give their account or their testimony, because it's so much of a mind game, trying to figure out what happened, what really happened. Um, they may be so just shaken and thrown off and depleted of resources when they come out of a cult that or perhaps and embarrassed at what they went through, right? Or embarrassed that they've given up all of their resources or exposed themselves to certain things, or maybe even have partaken in certain activities that have made them complicit. You have all these different variables of why many people don't come forth. And usually, these people that you may take as a role model or a father figure, while you're busy divulging or sharing information or secrets or insecurities, you don't realize that these very things will be used to manipulate you in a very deep way psychologically, to trigger you into different emotional states, to trigger you into states of fear or anxiety about your future, where you can no longer see possibilities for yourself, right? And things sometimes that may not be as big as you think they are. For example, your relationship with your parents, or your relationship, things that possibly could have been worked out or resolved on your own. Um, they exacerbate fear, right? And so they're well aware and can assess very easily if you appear to not have support around you, if you feel very lonely, or if you're, if you have a victim mentality. They can assess if you've been victimized. Some people are running from one state of maybe victimization, or a less than ideal situation, or a toxic situation, or a traumatized situation, and not banking on a whole nother set of trauma that they don't have a frame of reference for. So all that to say, predators, cults, those that are recruiting, sometimes you may not even be aware that you're being recruited, right? Because cults will use family members to recruit siblings, friends, um, you know, parents is done with religions. Sometimes you may not even realize that you're being recruited. You may just think you found some new wonderful people. So this is not to, to have an ear. You think you have some things in common. So you may want to be very mindful of trauma bonding, of people you just want to tell your story to. It seems to make sense, but be very, very wary, because these are things that they can assess that you are green about. They know that you are green. So with that being said, you're invited to keep your critical thinking hat on. A lot of things you can resolve actually on your own, or seek. Be careful of who you seek advice from to help you fix situations with your relationship. Before I sign off, that's definitely a big one. Married couples, or you may be on the outs with your boyfriend, girlfriend, significant other, and you go to these people thinking they're going to help you, but you don't realize quite often they have their own agenda. And by the time you figure it out, because usually certain things are not divulged to you until you are broken, or you're pretty much immersed in the cult and the rhetoric, of the cult. You've gotten yourself wrapped up. You may have engaged with these folks in a certain kind of way, and then it's kind of late, or you've invested a lot. It's never too late to leave. So they know that you're green. So with that being said, you're invited to keep your critical thinking cap on, not be embarrassed to ask questions. If there's a problem, or it's a change or a defensiveness when you're asking questions, which you have the right to ask when it comes to your money, your livelihood, when somebody's asking you to blindly trust them, that's something that give you a red flag. So they know that you are green. Create a great day.